Steve.
I'm Adam Freeland.
I'm RY X, and you're watching Moshcam.
I like playing Vader.
Yeah.
Because it's the only moment I get to really rock out with my little keyboard solo. But also it's like, it's got a lot of energy.
Vader's got Jen's twin snare and pianos.
Yeah.
I quite like Feed live too. It's super deep, and the visuals that we have developed for Feed are really nice. But they're all quite fun.
First day?
Yeah, the first day.
I would say Animal on the first day was a favorite of the studio process because it kind of set the tone for the rest of the record, and it essentially catalyzed our relationship. I mean, Ryan and I met that first day, and things didn't go as well as it did the first day. We might not be sitting speaking with you guys, but it did go really well.
So if it went really best on the first day, does that mean it's been like
all
downhill ever since?
Yeah.
They keep getting better because we've sort of just, as we get more confident with it. But on Saturday we played in Latitude Festival in England, in this beautiful pine forest, and the backdrop was these trees. And
that one felt really special.
Yeah.
And Zurich before that was really nice as well. But really we've just started, we've only done a handful of shows. So it's growing and we're evolving with it and it's progressing, I think. But eventually once we've played a couple tours we'll be able to look back and have those moments a little bit more. But right now every show's got something beautiful and new. It hasn't worked out yet, really. We kind of had shit riders.
When we were in Hamburg, we had a really nice, well catered with healthy vegetables, and they actually had a studio with a sort of a synthesizer museum in this bunker, World War II former bunker. The rider was that we need every old analog synthesizer in a room plugged in and connected, but then we should really actually have a couple of
That's Steve's rider. Mine's Tequila and Dancing Girls.
Yes. I'm married, so I need synthesizers.
We tried to take a moment, a little cuddle.
We have a little cuddle.
A little cuddle and a quiet moment.
Maybe a little slap on the bum.
I think the raddest thing at the acid shows is people are expressing themselves. You get the person who's standing there not saying anything, not moving, the person next to them is raving the whole time. It's not really an outward expression yelling thing, but there's people are having their own really different, beautiful experiences. That's the cool thing.
My background's DJing, so it's very different. People, your response when you're DJing is watch how much the crowd are dancing, where it's almost the opposite with this, especially this kind of music and this kind of band, because the more still people are, it's like the more focused and absorbing it they are. So it's a very different kind of experience.
I mean, it was really interesting at the very first show we ever played at Chat's Palace in England, where literally right next, there was someone just like, almost like having their eyes rolled back in their head, just going really deep inward, like zoning out, and right next to him, there was a woman just flailing around on the stage, hitting herself on stage. Like, oh my god, I love this song. So yeah, it varies, but
the best line I've ever had when you're DJing, people feel like they can actually talk to you, at least on a band. Someone come up to me and goes, "Mate, have you got anything, like, good?"
Oh, that was really funny, actually.
Thanks. Yeah.
That Secret Garden party. That guy didn't think that he was going to get a whole
oh no! Shut up, Steve.
Oh yeah. Never mind. I wouldn't go and harass Adam if I was a fan.
I get a lot of people writing in like really, really long, heartfelt love letters, or really, really super personal stuff that I haven't shared with anybody before. So I treat that as really
That's what
beautiful.
they tell all the men.
But I can't really engage it too much because it's maybe a bit too creepy. But it's really beautiful that people open up that way.
These two get like the fans and the screaming girls. I get the nerdy dudes that want to come up and ask me Ableton Live technical questions, like what VSTs are you using right now? And how do I get my thing to sound like this? Which is fine. Like again, I'm married. Synthesizers and nerdy dudes asking me questions about MIDI. Makes me happy.
Well, the main tool we use is the software called Ableton. That's how we wrote our album. So I say that is the most important tool to our creative process. Although we're using a lot of analog synths.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I mean, as it's not an instrument, but it is the sort of backbone of how we do it. But
we all know how to use that program really well, but I'd say that we could do it on tape.
We have to do favorites.
No, we could do it on tape.
Moog,
next record
a
on
Moog
tape,
synthesizer, any of the Moog synths are really nice. Roland has a bunch of old analog. There's a lot of. We get, like, again,
what's that one we did feed on?
Oh yeah, that's I have an old Gem electric piano from like the 70s. It looks straight out of Tron. It's got the blue grid on it.
Oh, the anonymity stuff got weird at the beginning. We didn't really tell anybody. We just put it up on SoundCloud and started to see what happened. And so people started to pick up their own rumors. One of the really cool things is I just put out something as a solo project, and all these blogs were posting like RY X things, and then straight after it they were posting the acid things going, we have no idea who these people are. It's crazy, and it's like, it was cool that people didn't make
They hadn't joined the dots, yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. That was probably one of the coolest things, that there were no rumors. But nobody had a clue about what was going on. That was probably the loudest thing for a long time.
There are a lot of rumors going around that I'm a quote-unquote Drake collaborator.
Oh yeah.
And The Weeknd, which is technically true that I've helped, but it was more of, I was a software consultant. I would say it would be a better word than collaborating. Implies that I was sitting in the studio with him and Rihanna writing hits, but which I'm totally down for, Drake, by the way, when you're ready.
Yeah.
But no, I just helped them get their tour up and ready to hit the road. But once something like that gets out there, everyone picks up on it, and I see it everywhere, and I'm like, oh, you know.
Keep it, man.
Yeah.
Gives you
Fine.
street cred.
Yeah.
Hood pass.
I've got it. My hood pass is intact.
Yeah, we all listen to different kind of stuff. I mean, the stuff we've probably listened to most is more sort of like contemporary composers like Arvo Part and John Adams and Eno and sort of chill stuff.
When you're driving, you need that.
Old
You know.
Kraftwerk while we were driving down the
Yeah.
Autobahn was pretty awesome because we had a trailer, so we could only go about 65, and people were driving like yeah, it was like 200 miles an hour.
On the
We were having
Autobahn.
fun on the Autobahn, being
Yeah.
passed by every old lady on the you know.
Stay mellow. Stay loving. You've got to be in tight quarters with your band and your crew for a long time, so everyone's got to kind of take a steady mind and steady heart into it.
And I've spent a lot of my life touring, and I think for me the secret is really making the most of little moments. Like
Yeah.
today, I'm only in Sydney for a day, but I got up and had a swim in the sea and had breakfast with some old friends, and just make the most of those little moments, because
Yeah,
it's so easy just to be in a hotel and a venue in an airport and never see anything, and especially when you got jet lag, it's like I might just lie in bed. It's like, you know what, if I went to Sydney and I didn't get to connect with like some of my best buddies or have a swim in the sea, I would feel like I would have missed out. So it's just get good at making most of
There's
the
actually
bits.
a really beautiful film about that. It's a movie about the musician Fred Frith. It's called Step Across the Border. You should all watch that. It's a beautiful film where he goes all these different places around the world, and he talks about, instead of going, you're on a tour bus, you arrive at the gig, you see the sound check, you see the hotel, and then you leave again. He really goes into spending time in the local community, getting to know his fans, getting to know other musicians, collaborating with people. It's a really inspiring, beautiful film that at the end of it, you just can't wait to go and make stuff. And so, Step Across the Border, that would be my favorite recommendation on films relating to being on the road.
For more of this,
For more of this,
subscribe here.
Subscribe.